To be clear, this theory is not new. A Reddit user proposed the idea 2 years ago, but no one has found a good challenge for it. That is what makes this fan theory so exciting. The user suggests that Eleven actually created the Upside Down when she was fishing for Russian intelligence. This theory dives deep into specifics about how this might have happened, but a lot of backstory needs to be covered before we rush into it. Simply put, it's been a while since some people have seen Stranger Things, so a simple recap is worth the time. The best way to understand a fan theory is to get the context around it first. Don't you worry, the details are coming, but we all need to get caught up first. So, without further ado, here's the recap you need for this fan theory. Stranger Things is set in the year 1983. Dungeons & Dragons is nerdy and new, and kids actually hang out and play instead of texting all the time. It's the perfect setting for aliens to mess with, right? In the small town of Hawkins, Indiana, a government site is experimenting on humans and trying to use the paranormal and supernatural as weapons against United States enemies. You know, like the Russians, for instance. Everything hits the fan when the scientist accidentally creates a portal to the Upside Down while running an experiment with subject number 11. And in this moment, a star was born. Millie Bobby Brown stars as this test subject turned runaway, who finds herself saved by a group of youngsters named Mike, Dustin, and Lucas. Together, the four of them attempt to keep Eleven safe while trying to find their missing friend Will. All of this while the scientists are dealing with the consequences of opening up a portal to another dimension. In case you didn't know, most mysterious portals have aliens inside them. I guess they didn't get the memo in this universe. These aliens are called demigorgons, after the D&D character, and they are responsible for the missing people. Still with us? Well, that is all just Season 1. Seriously, it's an action-packed series, as you probably already know since you've tuned into this video. Let's keep moving ahead. As the characters develop, Eleven is shown to be part of a larger group of test subjects with unique abilities. Fans are shown the connection between her and Father, the main operator of the base, and we saw that he took Eleven away from her mother. Will was rescued, but is not actually safe as his connection with the Upside Down jeopardizes the safety of the world. Basically, as long as there is a gateway to the Upside Down, Will can be used as a weapon by the big boss villain, Mind Flayer. It's complicated, but trust us, all this centers around the Upside Down, that creepy cavernous reality where all warmth is extinguished. Will spent a long time in the Upside Down, and it clearly has both a mental and emotional effect on him. Eleven seems capable of manipulating it and entering the dimension through her mind. The rules of that reality are not entirely clear, though, at the time of this recording. Viewers know that demigorgons exist, and they multiply and evolve in that reality. The demigorgons can escape into the regular world through opened gateways, and Eleven created the first opening that we know of. The Upside Down looks void of color, and soft wisps of feather-like objects hang in the air. The reality has all the same buildings and objects as the base reality, but everything appears overgrown with veins and mold-like material. This reverse reality seems as though it hasn't been lived in for a long time. Characters like Barb and Nancy stumble into the parallel world seemingly by accident. To be fair, not many people purposefully go into an alien-infested wasteland anyways. The show finds few courageous heroes willing to stay there for an extended period of time. That is why only Will and Eleven are directly connected to it. They both spent a ton of mental energy in the Upside Down. The dimension had time to attach itself to them. Elle is able to control her connection to it through her powers. Sadly, Will does not have the same abilities, and that is why he is manipulated by the creatures through the dimensional connection. Also, the two realities are capable of interacting with one another. Radio waves and lights seem to occasionally interact between the two worlds. The Duffer Brothers are always building on the Upside Down and its mythos. The creators rely on this mystery to craft monsters and conflicts for our group of characters to fight off. Part of both seasons' storylines involves the gang figuring out how exactly the Upside Down works. The rules of that reality are constantly being updated, but only through the eyes of the protagonists. Sure, the writers on the show could give a long expositional scene explaining the Upside Down to us, but that would not be as much fun as this alternative. Making theories and arguing about their validity is central to a thriving fanbase. Stranger Things is not alien to a ton of fan theories, and some of them center around this chief question we aim to answer: how was the Upside Down created? It's time to dive into the theory we all came here for. Here is all the details of how Eleven might have created the Upside Down. Buckle up, because this is about to blow you away. While experimenting on Eleven, it is revealed that the scientists are trying to use her newfound paranormal powers to breach Russian security and obtain secret files. At this moment, Eleven is not in the Upside Down. This is central to understanding the theory. Eleven is actually in the psychic abyss. This abyss is the no man's land of thought and creation. Think of it like a blacked out version of the mirror dimension in Doctor Strange. Within this dark emptiness, Eleven comes across the Demogorgon by accident instead of a way into Russian intelligence bases. Like a good dad, the Doctor sends Eleven back into the abyss in search of that slimy, multi-mouth creature that we have all come to love. Well, love to get scared by, at least. The theory goes that this encounter is what creates the Upside Down. In a panic, Eleven uses her powers to trap the monster and any residual versions of it in a reality she creates. Simply put, Elle got scared and rushed to get the creature as far away from her as possible. The farthest thing from her is a polar opposite realm devoid of life and function. This split-second decision created the spooky world that fans know, and Eleven is all to blame. The theory suggests that the world is an exact replica of Elle's reality. So clearly, it's connected to someone's understanding of the world. How else could those houses and buildings get there? She is literally creating a negative space of reality to deposit the Demogorgon in. With this, the Upside Down is created. Boom! Now all supernatural stuff that follows makes sense. Think about it. If Eleven can manipulate the Upside Down and close down gateways, it might be possible that she created it. This might also explain how Will can be attached to the Mind Flayer later. The Upside Down is a photo-negative version of the real Hawkins, so the interdimensional connection Will shares to it might have to do with the fact Eleven created it from the main reality. The other aspect of this theory that comes into view is why would Eleven create a portal to the Upside Down by accident if she created the entire thing? Well, to be fair, Eleven is just a kid. She doesn't really understand the full extent of her powers. It's possible that she filled the abyss with this alternate realm to trap the Demogorgon, but upon exiting it, she left the gateway wide open. Think of it like Elle created the shed to trap the monster in. The shed looks exactly like the version she lives in currently, only created by her imagination. On the way out of the shed, Elle makes a door because she needs to get out of there. The only problem is, she forgets to close the door. This is a simple mistake and totally possible given her understanding of her powers at that time. Still, some parts of the fan base contend that the Upside Down is more simple than this theory. They argue that the realities came into existence at the same exact moment, just like the idea of infinite universes. Both realities were created and moving along, but the other was attacked by aliens. The Mental Flayer and the Demogorgons are the infiltration units that wipe out the existing life form. Eleven meets a scout in the abyss, and the scout traces her back to this new reality to be conquered. The whole idea is simple, but also totally plausible. That duality makes this series great. Any theory right now could be right, so we just have to keep tuning in for the real answer. However, there are even more complicated fan theories out there. Similar to our main theory, some people believe Eleven's powers created something, but that something is not an alternate reality. They are certain that Eleven created a portal to the future or an alternative timeline. This timeline or future is the post-apocalypse, where Demogorgons and their kin run free around a decimated Earth. It's a dark interpretation, and messing with time begs the question of how the present can shape the Upside Down then. Still, this fan theory isn't impossible either. The truth is, only the Duffer Brothers and the show writers know exactly how they want the Upside Down's mystery to be revealed. Actually, they might not even know right now. It's totally possible they are just winging it. Still, answers have to come eventually. However, with all these wild theories going around, we find the Eleven creation theory to be the best, because it's the most reassuring. The Upside Down is dark and brooding. Fans find no comfort in its presence on the show. Right now, the alternate dimension is almost a character on its own that fans cannot quite grasp. The Upside Down has no clear motives and no tangible method to the madness it causes. Having Eleven be the creator of the negative world grounds the place in some kind of reality. That dark and distant setting comes more into our focus, and fans can then attach meaning to it through Elle. Maybe the theory is true. Elle creates the world out of fear and panic. That emotional response is why it's so dark and fosters the Demogorgon's growl. The world can connect with this reality due to 11 being a source for it. No matter what they do, 11's connection could be what brings it back. Of course, if this theory proves to be true, that could also mean 11 is the only way to stop it. If the Upside Down keeps existing in singular connection to 11, then that connection needs to be completely severed. That action may include losing L. Fans are going to need to decide if that's the path they want to see the show go down if they support this theory. Whew, that's a heavy way to conclude that theory. But the truth is that only watching Stranger Things can reveal the truth behind the Upside Down. We all have theories, but only the creators can craft the canon. Regardless of what theory you buy into, the series is doing an excellent job of keeping the mystery alive and mixing in elements of horror and comedy to complement this adventure. As fans, we will just have to wait patiently for the next season, so that all our theories can be reworked and adjusted to fit that next storyline. Maybe Elle will uncover the truth behind her supernatural abilities. If she did create the Upside Down, how will that affect her relationship with her friends? Can she help Will more if she is the creator of the Upside Down? And what kind of monsters await us in this strange new dimension? Not to mention the allusions to Back to the Future happening in the trailers. Maybe the timeline theory isn't too far off. We all just have to wait to find out. In the meantime, keep up to date with all the content Behind the Screen has to offer. All you have to do is hit the link down below to be automatically subscribed.